Our faith was birthed in a tragedy. The Christian faith. It began in earnest as a result of an unjust murder. Is there anybody here who knows the Bible? It began as the result of an unjust murder. Someone more noble, someone more honorable, someone more righteous than even Vernon Hunter was killed by angry men. And though he committed no sin, though he was never guilty of a crime, Chief Acevedo, he was crucified and he endured a penalty that was the harshest known in its day. He endured the death penalty, but not just any death penalty, the death penalty reserved for the harshest of all criminals in his day. This faith that we celebrate, it was initiated by an unjust murder. And on the face of that tragedy, it looked like, if you didn't see the invisible, like God had abandoned his son. And it felt that way too. It felt that way. Jesus' friends felt it. They felt it so much that they deserted him. Jesus' foes felt it. They jeered him. They said he saved others, but he cannot save himself. Jesus himself felt it. Even though he came to die, even though he predicted prophetically his own death, when the moment came, the witnesses heard him. He said, surprisingly, something that he had never said all of his life. He proclaimed from that cross, my God, why have you forsaken me? On that Good Friday, when Jesus died, it looked like God went on vacation. But in truth, he was working overtime. God was using a murder to draw men and women to himself. God took what was the crime, not of the century, but the crime of eternity, and turned it into a classroom of love. It was God who said through his son Jesus, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son, so that whoever believes in him, believes what? Believes that his murder is a vehicle of mercy, shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Friend, there was meaning in that murder. There was great purpose in that pain. What looked like divine cruelty was actually God's greatest act of affection. He took a crime scene and changed history. And that's what Jesus said would happen. Jesus said, if I be lifted up from the earth, placed on a cross, then I will draw all men unto me. Friend, there was meaning in a murder. And I want you to know on today that the only reason why you have ever heard the name Jesus is because God stuffed a murder with meaning. The only reason why time is divided between BC and AD is because a murder took place. The only reason why we fly under this banner Christian is because of a murder. The only reason why we're celebrating Vern's life in a church instead of a mosque is because of a murder. Those of you who have made Jesus leader, the only reason why you have abundant life today and eternal life on layaway is because of a murder. And God has a way of turning a crime scene into something strategic. Is there anybody here who has eyes to see what the Spirit of God is saying?